Milwaukee, and I'm, here with a video, something that's been on my spirit, as of late. Strive for the truth unto death, man. Be thou faithful unto death. I've been seeing a lot of videos, about, persecution, about, political leaders talking about laws for, anti-Semitism, and, you had Trump a few months ago, more than a few months ago, say, hey, if they're anti-Semitic and they're seeking the Amalekites' destruction, we will seek their destruction. And I've been meditating on that all week long, through the spirit, and kind of, was on my spirit to do this video, do this quick cold cut, you know, on exhortation for what we need to do to be able to be faithful unto death, right? And nonetheless, I'm gonna hop straight into it, right? This is the book of First Timothy, right, chapter 6, and we're gonna start at verse number 18, right? This is the book of First Timothy, chapter 6, and verse number 18. It says that they do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate, laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life. Right? So we got to be rich in good works, right? We can't be, overtaken by the cares of this life, right? By the riches of this life, right? By all the BS that go on in this life. We can't be overtaken in those, those thoughts, right? We got to make sure that we're rich in good works towards Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? Building up a mighty, mighty, strong foundation of stones, right? So that in the time to come, that we don't get burnt up, that our temple doesn't fall, right? From what's to come, right? That you don't denounce the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? That you don't, kind of give up on the faith and kind of eat the swine in the last days, right? So that you don't fall away, by the wayside, right? Because that's what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna have the hour of temptation, and men are gonna fall away. Men are gonna see that temptation. They were in the truth for a while, enduring in the truth. Then they're gonna give up. They're gonna give up on the faith because, hey, I didn't sign up for that. That's what they're gonna think. That's what they're gonna tell themselves, right? Let me get this quick precept in Luke, the 8th chapter, right? You had Donald Trump and you had other political leaders saying, over this entire year, I've just been watching them videos, meditating on them. They're getting ready to create laws, right? They want to have the death penalty for anybody that's speaking out against the Amalekites, right? Any so-called hate group, right? And you're gonna have a lot of people. They hear that death penalty. Hey, I don't want to go out to the highways and byways no more. Hey, I don't want to make videos no more, man. Hey, I don't really know if I want to call myself an Israelite no more. That might get my head chopped off. Right? You don't want to move in that spirit, because that's how a lot of people gonna move, and they're gonna join hand in hand with the heathen. Right? This is Luke, the 8th chapter, and we're gonna start at verse number. We're gonna start at verse number 12. It says, "Those by the wayside are they that hear the word, then cometh the devil and taketh away the word out of their hearts, lest they should believe and be saved." Right? Verse 13 is the next one. That is the point. They on the rock are they, which when they hear receive the word with joy, and these have no root, which for a while believe, and in the time of temptation fall away. Right, so you're gonna have men that's on the rock. The rock is Yahweh Shai. Right, though they that are on the rock are those that believe in Yahweh Shai. Right, they're gonna have faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. They're gonna believe. They're gonna have joy in this faith. They're gonna be in the spirit sometimes. Right, but when temptation comes, they're gonna fall away because it's gonna get too hard. Right, they may be dealing with some kind of struggles financially, lustfully, idolatry, family issues, and then in the topic of the video, persecution, right? And they're not going to want to continue to endure. They're not going to want to deal with sound doctrine anymore. They're not going to want to deal with the faith. They're not going to want to feel anything, right? They're going to want to take the pleasures of this world, right? But that's a blessing. It's a blessing when you're being reviled, when you're being persecuted, right? When men are speaking falsely against what brothers in the truth are doing, what sisters in the truth are doing, right? Or you had a video from a famous YouTuber out from Milwaukee named Brandon Buckingham, right? He did a inside the life, I guess, video of ISUPK, right? In the school, right? He was falsely speaking about what brothers talk about in the truth, right? He was misrepresenting what we actually teach, and you have certain brothers, man, I don't like what he's saying, man. He gotta kind of put that video down, right? Hey, we shouldn't feel like that. We should be like, all praise to the Most High, man. That devil, right? He's helping spread the word, and he's helping fulfill prophecy. He's speaking falsely against the mighty works that brothers are out here doing, right? Let's go to Matthew 5 and verse number 11 real quick, right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse number 11, right? We're going to start at verse number 10. Right? It says, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Right? Verse 11. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Right? So all the people that get scared, right? All the people that let it trouble their heart when they're when they feel like persecution on the rise, when they feel like they may lose their job over the truth, feel like they're gonna lose family and friends, whatever it is in this world that you're fearing, right? You gotta remain faithful and understand, hey, that's a blessing from the Most High to suffer persecution for His name, right? To be reviled, to be hated of all men, right? For people to say, twist my words and cut the video and accuse us of falsely doing something that we're not doing, because that's what's gonna come, right? I was just going into this at camp, right? It was this link, brothers and sisters, if they want to look it up. I forgot the name of the link, right? But you could look up, how did the apostles die, right? And it's gonna be a link, where all the deaths of the apostles from like Peter, John, uh, uh, Andrew, James, right? And it's going to describe every single way of death, right? And in the first one that you go into, you got Peter, right? The apostle Peter, right? Hey, and he died in 64 A.D. from Nero, Emperor Nero, right? During the time of the Roman Empire, right? He died, right, when they had the Great Fire of Rome. During the Great Fire of Rome, right, you had a big old fire that kind of burnt a lot of stuff up in that city, right? And the Emperor Nero, he falsely accused brothers in the truth, right? And he put to death Peter the apostle. He crucified him upside down, had him on the cross but upside down, and killed him, right? So if that happened to Peter, that same thing is gonna happen to us, right? They're gonna say that if let's say a president died, they're gonna say that we killed the president. Let's say whatever it is, right? A damn Jewish school get burnt up. They're gonna say we burnt it up, we shot it up, we did this, right? We kidnapped this person, right? They're gonna falsely accuse brothers, and they're gonna start to come after people, right? You could read about your brothers being put to death in the scriptures, being faithful unto the end, though. You could read about your brothers being put to death, just for the so-called white man, just to vex people, meaning, kind of put some fear into their heart, right? Let's actually get that real quick. Let's go to Acts, the 12th chapter. All right, let's go to Acts, the 12th chapter, in the first verse. Right? If brothers want to look that up, right? That'd be a mighty thing, right? But during that Great Fire of Rome, right, you had the Roman Empire. This is before, the siege on Jerusalem, a little bit right before it, right? And they started to put brothers and sisters in the truth to death, right? Falsely accused them, right? This is Acts chapter 12 and verse number 1. It says, now about that time, right? And this is still, sort of around that same time as well. Right, this is Acts 12 and 1. It says, now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hand to vex certain of the church. So the so-called white man, he did this to vex the church, meaning trouble their spirits, put fear into their heart, make them turn away from the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Make them denounce the name of the Lord, make them give up on the faith, right? That's what he meant. That's what it mean when he vexed the church, right? He tried to trouble them, right? And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword, right? And he killed that mighty brother, right, with the sword, right? But you don't see in this account, James just kind of said, hey, no, I'll do whatever it is that pleases you. No, he was faithful unto death, right? He was striving for the truth unto death. Sirach 4 and 28. Right, let's get Philippians real quick, chapter 1 and verse number 20. Right, that's what it's all about. right? Building yourself up in the spirit, right, to endure things that's to come, right? You go through temptations, you go through things that you go through now, for the hour of temptation. Now, I can't get Revelation 2 and 10 because this is my Canton Bible. Certain pages is ripped out, so unfortunately I can't get that precept right now. I wanted to get that precept, but I can't right now, right? But this is Philippians chapter 1 and verse number 20, right? It says, according to my earnest expectation, right, and my hope that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all boldness, as always, so now also Christ shall be magnified in my body. Right? So you should be magnifying the name of Yahweh Shem Shai in your body, man. Right? The way you live should represent Christ. Right? It should boast the name of Christ with all boldness, man. Right? What you do shouldn't represent, the nigga you was in the world. It shouldn't represent the so-called white man. Shouldn't represent the church. Definitely shouldn't represent them Islam, man. Right? It should represent Yahweh Shai. I mean, you're an ambassador of Yahweh Shai. You represent Yahweh Shai when you're at work, the grocery store, the gas station, walking outside at the park with your rib and your children. Right? You are, the representation of, what of Yahweh Shai. Right? Meaning, whatever you do, right, it's gonna have an effect on the church. It's gonna have an effect on the body. Right? But it says magnify Christ in your body, right? It says whether it be by life or by death, right? So you have to magnify his name whether it's by life or if you're getting put to death, right? Just because you're about to get put to death, in front of your family or, your family about to get put to death right in front of you, you want to make sure that, that they understand that, hey, that's magnifying the name of the Lord. And if you're a martyr unto Yahweh Shai, right, you're going to get the kingdom. Right? You're gonna get the kingdom, right? Now you don't want to just go and be a fool and then jump on a police officer talking about Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Brakatah, and then you get shot down with a shotgun. That's foolish, right? But you want to do the work of the Lord, magnify His name, and when they start to come after brothers and start to take brothers, and that insurrection come down on those that fear the Lord, right? Then you want to be strong enough in the faith, right, to be willing to, be faithful, to die for the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Right? It says, for to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. Right? Because you gain a lot, through death. Right? You're gonna gain eternal life through death, for Yahweh Shai's name. Right? Yahweh Shai not just gonna let you die in vanity for His name. Right? So that's the spirit we want to be moving in. When you got, all these threats, against so-called anti-Semitism and all that, right? You want to be moving in that spirit. You want to be meditating on these things and meditating on the good works that you're doing, right? If you know Revelation, the 13th chapter, and you don't have charity, you don't go out and give to the homeless, and you don't have charity, which is love for your people, then what's the point? What's the point in understanding the in-depth damn parables and songs of Solomon if you don't have a pattern of good works? Right? We have to have a pattern of good works in the last days. Right? Loving our brothers, forgiving our brothers, right? Laboring for the Lord. There's many ways you can labor. Right? Building up your family every single day, being obedient unto the parents, being, being on one accord with the entire body, right? No damn strife. Right? There's many things that you could do, right, to have good works unto the Lord. Let's get that in Titus real quick. Right? Let's go to Titus real quick. And we're gonna get some accounts, on other accounts on our forefathers being put to death. Right? Because there's many accounts that you could read about and you could see these accounts and be like, damn, that brother endured that. Right? Hey, we're gonna get to it, right? Let's go to Titus real quick though. 2 and verse number 6. It says, young men likewise exhort to be sober minded in all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works, right? And then it's gonna go on to list all those other good works, right, that you could do, right, to make your calling and election sure, right? It isn't just about knowing 10 million breakdowns, because it's people that know 10 million breakdowns, yet they don't love their brother, yet they don't actually endure temptations, and they still smoking weed on the couch while listening to a mighty brother break down, how the lunar Sabbath is wicked, right? You feel me? Right? So let's start getting to these accounts. All right, let's start getting into these accounts. All right, let me get this one quick precept actually real quick as well. In Acts the 21st chapter, right? Acts chapter 21 and verse number 13. Right? I wish I had another like phone or I had my computer on me. Right? I could pull up that link and show you, but I don't. Right? But it says, then this Acts 21:13. Then Paul answered, "What mean ye to weep and to break mine heart? For I am ready not only to be bound only, but also to die at Jerusalem for the name of the Lord Yahweh Shai." Right? So Paul wasn't just, Paul was in the spirit, man. Right? He wasn't just out here doing the work and not, living it and not, ready for anything that came his way. Right? He was ready to die for the name of the Lord. Right? He was ready to die for what he believed in. Right? If you die for what you believe in, that can have a big effect, on a lot of people that come into the truth. They're gonna view that and, damn, that's honorable. That's an honorable thing, and people, commend that. Right? You can have men that die in the truth, and it might exhortate other brothers to go even harder. Right? Let's keep reading though. Right? It says, and when he would not be persuaded, we ceased, saying, the will of the Lord be done. Right? Because when brothers was getting put to death, right? When you had Stephen get put to death in Acts the 7th chapter, when he got stoned for the name of Yahweh Shai, right? Paul came into the truth after that. Right? He came into the truth in Acts the 9th chapter. Right? And Paul went hard. Peter was still going hard. James was still going hard. Right? Timothy came into the truth. He was going hard. Titus came into the truth. He was going hard. Right? Hey, you had the disciples. They saw Yahweh Shai get put to death. They still went hard for the name of the Lord. Right? So when all this is arising and coming upon, our people and they making these threats, don't be afraid. Right? Don't be afraid for what's to come. Right? It's no reason for us to be afraid of that. Right? And I wish I could bring out Revelation 2. Right? But we're going to get 2nd Maccabees real quick, the 7th chapter. Right? This is one of the mightiest accounts. Right? Because they're going to try to, put us to death and, try to make us agree and, bring us in front of counselors, the judges and the court systems to try to make us, stop keeping the commandments, to make us, not want to be in the truth, to give up on the faith. Right? But you got to be willing to fight for that. You got to be willing to fight for your God and your laws, right, and for your people. Right? Because if you give up on the faith, right, then you're a coward, right? Truthfully speaking, right? Let's get into this. Right? This is 2nd Maccabees chapter 7 and verse number 1. It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. Right? So you had these 7 mighty brothers during the time of the Maccabees and their mother. Right? They were all taken captive by the so-called white man. Right? And they were trying to force them to eat the pig. Right? And they weren't going for that. They were being faithful to keep the laws of God. Right? They kept pushing. They kept pushing. They knew that in the end, right? Hey, they'll get the kingdom for this. They knew that they'll receive a reward for what they were doing. Right? And that takes a high amount of faith to remember that even when you're getting boiled alive, when you're getting burned alive, when you're getting drowned and waterboarded, when you're getting your skin peeled off and your scalp pulled off. Right? When you're getting your fingernails taken off with a wrench. Right? When you're getting jumped on and beat on. Right? When these things are happening, you got to remember that, hey, you'll receive a reward for that. Right? But let's keep reading. It says, but one of them that spake first said thus, what wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die, rather to transgress the laws of our fathers. Then the king, right? He said we're ready to die, rather than transgress the law of our fathers. Right? And that's what, I brought out 1 Timothy the 6th chapter for in the 18th verse and the 19th verse, is because, a lot of people think that, this is all of us, right? We all think that we're ready to die for the name of the Lord. Whoa, we got to go through the things that we're going through right now before we can be ready for that, right? Your car breaking down shouldn't make you waver in the faith, right? Your woman leaving you shouldn't make you waver in the faith, right? Your marriage catching hell shouldn't make you, I don't know about this truth stuff, man. This truth stuff, man, I don't know, right? You know, financial issues shouldn't make you weary, right? If you go, if you turn your back on the Lord during the littlest, you know, amounts of tribulation, what you think you're gonna do in the hour of temptation? That was the hour. Hey, that's like the hour of temptation. You gotta think of that. You're getting whipped, you know, just because you don't want to eat the pork. You saying, hey, I can't transgress the laws of my God. I love my God too much, right? If we're not, enduring now, the temptations that we have, we can't act like we're gonna endure because that's a temptation. Because as soon as you eat the pork, hey, you good. You don't gotta get whipped no more. You free to go. But you're gonna take a long walk of shame while the rest of your brothers and sisters are still getting scourged and whipped, enduring to the end. Right? Let's keep reading. Right? Second Maccabees chapter 7, and we're gonna start at verse 3. It says, then the king, being enraged, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the utmost parts of his body, the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on. Right? And you got a lot of movies, right, that you could see, right? Somebody getting tortured, the damn family member can't take it. No, no, no. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. No, they kept looking. The brother and the mother, they understood. Damn, it hurt. It hurt to watch. But they understood. All praise to the Most High. He gonna get a reward. The Lord ain't gonna let him just die in vanity for his name's sake. He's not gonna let that happen. So they just kept looking and watching, dealing with the trauma and the pain and the temptation of watching their brother and her son die. Right? Let me read that again. Right, Khan, brother sent the precept. Let me read that real quick. The water. Right, he says, fear none of those things. So he said, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Right, you got to move in that spirit. We got to build ourselves up so that we don't fear anything that's coming to the earth. Right, people just think that dying for the name of the Lord is getting shot in the head and just, having a peaceful death. No, dying for the name of the Lord is going through what Yahweh Shai went through, going through what the prophets went through, right? Getting whipped, getting tortured, getting spat on, getting hit, punched in your face, kicked in your stomach, in your chest, getting your skin peeled off, not eating for days, being in some basement somewhere, in a dungeon somewhere, sinking in mire, like Jeremiah, in Jeremiah the 38th chapter, right? But he says, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. Ye shall have tribulation 10 days, right? So that's all that's for. It's literally the hour of temptation when you continue to read on in that chapter. It's called the hour of temptation. It's not a literal hour. It's going to last a very long time. You don't know how long it's going to last, right? But you're going to be getting tried over and over and over again to see if you're going to break. And that's why I say, focus on getting built up, man. Focus on the milk. That's how you're going to grow. Focus on, going over the milk precepts and building up your faith every time something, unfortunate may happen right now while you have the chance. Right? Because if you're not building yourself up the right way and you just don't living however in this earth, when the time comes for the hour of temptation, you won't be ready. Right? Let's keep reading. Right, Second Maccabees. Right, and it says 10 days, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Right, and that's plain. Right, and it says, right, verse 5, it says, Second Maccabees 7:5. Now when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire and to be fried in the pan. And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, They exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying, Thus the Lord God looketh upon us, and in truth hath comfort in us, and as Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servant. Right? He got fried in the pan. Right? We gotta, you gotta think of these things like, damn. That's why I ended up looking up that link, right? Brothers, sisters end up looking it up, right? Hey, I looked up that link. I wanted to really understand, hey, damn, this is how, the apostles is getting killed. Because certain scriptures, they're not telling you how they died. Right? They're not telling you in the scriptures that Peter got crucified upside down. They're not telling you in the scriptures that Andrew got crucified in the X shape. Right? They're not telling you these things. Right? But they happen. Right? So we gotta be able to endure. Right? But this is insane right here. Being fried in a pan, getting your tongue cut off, getting whipped right in front of your brothers and your mother. Right? And they all exhorted each other. I mean, they were built up in the laws, statutes, and the faith in the Most High God. Right? The scriptures of the Most High God. They knew that it was a reward for that. So they sat there with their mom. They exhortated each other. They pushed each other to endure that. Right? But I'm not gonna read the whole account. Everybody could read this on their own time. Second Maccabees, the 7th chapter. All of them got put to death. Right? Let's get the last scripture, right? Second Maccabees 7, right? Right, I'm gonna start at verse 29, or I'm gonna get to the end point part. It says, Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren. So she's talking to, I believe, her youngest son, if I'm not mistaken. Right, she's talking to her youngest son, and she said, "Hey," right, because the so-called white man, he's talking to the youngest son, trying to convince him to, convert unto the Greek ways, right? And she told her son straight up, "Hey, you better die for the name of the Lord. You better die for your laws, for your brethren. You better not give in to that." Right? Lo and behold, he did not give in. He died righteously. He died with his integrity. Right? Let's keep reading. It says, While she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, Whom wait ye for? I will not obey the king's commandment, but I will obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses. And thou, that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews, shall not escape the hands of Yahweh. And the so-called white man, right, for all the damn persecution that's on the rise that he's planning to put up on the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American, he's not going unpunished for that, right? For what he's gonna do to us, right? Hey, the Lord is gonna bring it back upon him sevenfold, tenfold, hundredfold, right? He's gonna receive he's gonna have to drink of the cup, worse, right? You can read about that in Lamentations, the 4th chapter, right? Let me get this quick precept, right? Let me get Second Ezra chapter 1 real quick. All right, Second Ezra chapter 1 and verse number 32. Let me get straight to the point. It says, And I sent unto you my servants the prophets, whom ye have taken and slain, and torn their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require at your hand, saith the Lord. Right? Hey, the Lord is gonna require, blood at the so-called white man's hand. And any, one of our people that turn their back on us. Right? They damn giving us up to the so-called white man, snitching on us, lying on us, falsely accusing us, putting us to death. Because they gonna put money on brother's head, more than willing, Lord willing. Right? Right? They're gonna put money on brother's head, Lord willing. Right? And they're gonna be trying to, people gonna be out to get you. Right? But the Lord, hey, you're gonna get your reward for that. Right? If you're out here doing that. Right? This second Maccabees chapter 7 though. Right? I want to get the part. Right? I'm gonna get the part the mother died too, right? You sisters, you don't want to be thinking that I'm a sister, I got my fringes with my dress and my head wrap. I'm gonna cook and clean, and I'm gonna obey my husband. No, sisters are gonna die for the name of the Lord too. If you're sincerely, mightily serving the Most High God, you sisters are laborers too, whether you like it or know it or not, right? And you will die for the name of the Lord, right? This is Second Maccabees chapter 7 and verse 40. It says, so this man died undefiled and put his whole trust in the Lord. Last of all, after the sons, the mother died. Let this be enough now to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feast and the extreme tortures. Right? So she witnessed all of 7 of her sons be put to death for the laws of God, and that she died with her integrity as well. And that's a mighty account, man. To get you in the spirit. You shouldn't fear what Trump is saying out here. You shouldn't fear what the damn Muslims over in the Middle East are saying, right? They said this about a year ago, right? They said that they're gonna start putting to death people that Christians. Right? They said they're gonna put to death Christians. So if you got a Bible in your hand and you're in the Middle East, they're gonna be trying to put you to death. And that's coming to America. That's coming to a city near you, right? Don't think it ain't gonna happen over here just because it's happening in the Middle East. World War III is on the rise. Famine is on the rise. Pestilence on the rise. Civil war is on the rise. All hell is on the rise in America, and you're watching it. It's crumbling from the inside out, right? And because we're turning this world upside down through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, serving Him and keeping His laws, His statutes, His commandments, and His faith, and we're not, giving in. Hey, they gonna want to damn kill us. They're gonna want to put us to death, right? To try to continue on, right? Let me get this precept real quick in Revelation, the 12th chapter. Right, let's go to Revelation chapter 12. Right, it's always mighty to meditate upon certain things. Right, you want to meditate on the milk, you want to meditate on the bread, you want to meditate on the meat, you want to meditate on general knowledge, man. You want to meditate on all things and build yourself up in all things. Right, that's Revelation chapter 12, and we're gonna start at verse number 10. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. Right? So the accuser of our brethren, he's getting ready to be cast down. The beast is getting ready to be cast down. The Roman Empire, all over again. Right? It's about to be torn down in pieces and stubble, right? And rubbish. Right? It's about to be all jammed up out here. Right? It says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. Right? So they're gonna not, they're not gonna love their lives unto death. Right? They're not gonna really give a damn about, what's going on here. Right? Obviously, they're gonna be taking care of their families. They're gonna be taking care of themselves, doing what they got to do to get by. Right? They're not gonna be caught up in the world, man. They're gonna be focusing on doing the work of God, man. They're gonna be focusing on perfecting themselves. Right? This truth is your craft. You have to perfect it. Right? That's what they're gonna focus on, and through that, striving for perfection, they're gonna overcome this place by the blood of the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shai. Right? Verse 12. Right? It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. Right? So he's coming with wrath and fury. They want to put brothers to death because they know that the more we continue to wake up our people is the more they get people, departing from their laws. Right? Departing from the mindset, and the damn brainwash that come with being an American. Right? They know that when we wake up, that their society has to fall. So he has to be the devil that he is, right? And he has to come with great wrath to persecute those that fear the Lord, right? Because he has a short time. He knows his kingdom is about to fall. He knows World War III is about to happen. That's why he's not warning people. Because if he was warning people, more people will come and they will look at the Israelites and be like, oh, damn, those brothers was right. Let me listen to them. Hey, let me get salvation. Let me get the hell up out of America, man. Right? If the white man telling me this, and those Hebrew Israelites on the corner telling me this, maybe I should listen, right? But they're not gonna do that, right? They're gonna do everything in their will to paint a negative image on the Hebrew Israelites, every single camp, right? Whether you're IUIC, WFI, ISUBK, GMS, whether you're Sakari, Genesis, whoever you are, and you're doing the work on the corners, and you're sincerely doing the work in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's name, they're gonna come after us all, right? They're gonna paint an image bad on all of us. They're gonna falsely accuse all of us, right? Because they don't want this truth to prosper, right? It says, right? It says, and when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. Right? And the woman that brought forth the man child is the nation of Israel, and the man child is Yahweh Shai. Right? So that's what's coming to America, man. Right? But we got to make sure that we're getting our minds right, building ourselves up in the milk to even be able to strive for the truth unto death, man. Right? It's no striving for the truth unto death, right? If you're not even, you don't even know, you can't even meditate on precepts about faith. You can't even meditate on precepts about discipline, right? You can't even apply any of the precepts because you're still freaking off, with these damn prostitutes. You're still freaking off with these damn blunts and these vapes, man. Right? You can't be faithful unto death if you're doing any of that. Or you can't build yourself up. You can't be ready for the hour of temptation if that comes. Right? So I exhortate brothers and sisters, right, that's listening in. Hey, go look at that link. Go read that, Go read that link on how the apostles died. Go watch some of these videos on what these world leaders are saying, on what they're going to do to anybody that's so-called anti-Semitic. Anybody that's a so-called hate group. They want to kill you. They want the death penalty. They want blood, man. They want blood, and Yahweh Shai is going to require their blood at his hands. So, I want to continue to exhortate all of you guys, right, to continue in the faith, to continue to fight, man, right, to continue to magnify the name of your God, man, right, to be in the spirit of your fathers, right. Let me get a quick precept. I ain't going to grab that, right, but nonetheless, let me grab this Sirach 4 and 28. We're going to close out. All right, Con, that brother put a mighty precept in the chat. That's a mighty precept, right? This is Sirach 4 in verse number 28. It says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. All right, so you got to remind yourself that you're striving for the truth unto death, right? That you're going to continue to endure temptation, right? No matter what comes upon you, right? You're not going to give up on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You're not going to give up on your brethren or your sisters. You're going to continue to labor, right? You're going to continue to labor for the kingdom, man, right? Because if you don't strive for the truth unto death, if you don't strive for perfection, what purpose does the Lord have to fight for you? Because you're siding with the so-called white man if you don't want to strive for the truth unto death, right? Because he's the one stopping. He's trying to cut the truth short, and you're helping him do it by not striving for the truth unto death, right? That's just what it is, right? But you got to keep these precepts in your mind. Matthew 5 and 11, Revelation 2 and 10. Right? Every precept that was brought out. Right? Let's go to John 15 real quick. John 15. All right, let's go to John 15. We're going to start at verse number 16. We're going to start at verse 18. All right, it says, if the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. Right? So if Yahweh Shai had to go through what he had to go through, right, to them give you a chance at eternal life, to give you the forgiveness of sins and allow you to be able to repent, right, you had to go through the same thing. Why do you think Peter got crucified upside down? Why do you think Stephen got stoned to death? Why do you think James got killed with the sword? Why do you think these men were dying during the siege of Jerusalem? Why do you think they were dying during the great fire of Rome? right? Why do you think these men were dying? Right? Because they had to endure, right? The Lord had to try them to see if they were worthy of the kingdom, right? So I exhortate all you mighty brothers and sisters in the live, right, to not, waver in the faith, right? When you hear of these things, when you see these Twitter headlines, when you see these damn, headlines on Google, whatever it is, YouTube, videos, whatever, right? Whenever you see these things, the first thing, you shouldn't get butterflies in your stomach, or you shouldn't kind of get goosebumps. Ooh, man, right? That shouldn't happen, right? It should be a feeling of excitement, right? Because you know that we're getting closer and closer and closer. Now, obviously, during that time, right, it's going to be temptation. So you're going to, deal with the temptation of, whatever it is your inner thoughts may be during a time like that, right? But you got to, build yourself up to the point where, that you can overcome that, right? Overcome by the blood of the Lamb, like priest has said in Revelation 12th chapter, right? God, right? That I'm gonna give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Umalak, Yahweh Shai, Shalom, Akim, and Akwatim.